Welcome to A Toast to Truth. Does the coach you work with or want to work with have any experience teaching you how to do something in your field? This is Season 1, Episode 3, and my special guest host today is my friend Tina Dixon, luxury style instigator of Jaded Kisses Designs. Welcome, Tina.
Hello.
So before we get into our discussion today, we are going to pop some bubbly. So my celebration this week related to our topic is biz coaches who never played the game, okay? So my celebration is after I went through a string of coaches that just did not help me in any way that I felt I paid to get help and they didn't help me. I found a coach who did help me get a lot of work done, but because of the other coaches, I was still far behind with getting certain things for my business. But that investment with the coach that helped me kind of get everything clear and straightened out was well worth it. So I am not against coaches. I'm just against coaches who never played the game. Tina, what is your celebration?
My celebration is with all the experiences that I've had with bad coaches or coaches that weren't a good fit for me. I not only found a great business coach, but I also started coaching entrepreneurs that are like me in the fashion industry.
Okay, and I bet we have the same coach who saved us, and we'll probably get to the name of that coach later in our discussion. So let's hop in because Tina made a good point in her celebration. We'll start with that. Coaches who were not a good fit for you. Because everybody wants to point blame. Oh, there's so many bad coaches out there. Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a life coach, a business coach, or whatever the case may be. Everybody has an experience. Everybody has qualifications and skills. But not everyone is a good fit for you. And, Tina, you made a great point bringing that up because I want people to understand we all need a coach. We all need someone to help us. We just have to find the one who is the right fit for us. And for me, the person who's the right fit for me is someone who's actually played the game, someone who's actually done something I'm trying to do. Like, you can't just pop up with a WordPress blog and say, I'm a coach, and you've never done what I've tried to do, right?
Right.
That's like me and Fusion. My mom got so fed up at me paying all these coaches to help me figure out how to get Fusion into what it was. She was like, none of them even know what you're talking about because none of them have ever done it themselves. And when she said that, I'd already spent thousands of dollars by this time. But it made a good point. I should have saved my money since I could not find a coach who had done what I did and invested that money into other aspects of me learning something, like, how to be better at sales or, branding. At that time, I had good branding, but my brand message needed help, so I probably should have hired a brand coach, But I hired a lot of general business coaches, and that was a mistake for me.
For my business, what I was doing, I was one of the very few people who did everything within, like, most of the fashion industry. I could sew. I could also style. I also did the coaching and consulting. So finding someone who could help me with the package that I had was hard. And finding a general coach for someone who was very niche specific, it doesn't really work because they give you broad ideas and it doesn't help. Like, the money that I spent, I could have really saved or put it on, like, Google marketing or something because that's really what I got.
Yeah, and then another thing you mentioned about being broad, sometimes the coaches have no idea what it is you're trying to do with your vision because they don't understand your vision, so they start suggesting things you should do. I'm sorry, everybody. I have a little cold, so if y'all hear me like trying to breathe and speak, that's the problem. But I'm going to get through this. Anyway, and for those people who are like, why is she telling us this? When you're in business for yourself and you're sick, guess what? You still got to work. you still got to get stuff done. And so anyway, back to what I was saying. If a coach is a general business coach and they can't understand your vision, and we talked about vision in episode 1, they're going to give you suggestions on what they think you're trying to do or wanting to do or would or should do. And some of those suggestions may be so far off, but you not knowing yourself what should happen in your business, you will start following their suggestions, and then it could take you off track of your own business because now you're starting to do things that are not really related to what you had overall envisioned for what you wanted your business to do. And,
case in point.
Yeah.
Case in point. I've had several coaches. One in particular, I'm a fashion major. Things of fashion, are my scope. I had a coach suggest some stuff that had nothing to do with that, and me not knowing and me not being,
like what? Give us some examples, because if people don't know, Jaded Kisses Designs is actually fashion. Like Tina Stowe's, like she has like real people. Like I know these people who have bought her designs. Like one person in particular, I know Tina designed her daughter's prom dress. Like Tina really is a designer. She's not one of those Instagram people. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
Basically, like I wanted to move my brand as in more of a fashion, a small business, or just setting it up to be a fashion brand where everything I do is fashion. Well, I also have other talents, but I really wanted to focus on fashion, and I ended up in social media. I ended up in like doing outside sales, and this had nothing to do with what I was really going for, and it had me frustrated because I'm like, well, this is not making the money that I wanted to make, but it has nothing to do with fashion, but I'm still trying to pay ends. And it was like, one day it just hit me. Why are you way over here off on this left tangent when what you do is sketch, sew, sell? Why? Yes, I'm really good at social media. Yes, I'm good at outside sales. Yes, I'm good at helping other people do things. But what I was spending money on and what I was getting were two different things. And in my business for me and my family, that had me running around crazy because I'm doing jobs. And even with the jobs, like they're like, oh, you should do this social media for this company. But instead of it being like something that I wanted, the area that I want to deal with is upscale brands. Like I want to be the next or the, go-to person for everyone that I know. As in, instead of them going to Saks, they're coming to me for their upscale design. So me doing $5 and $10 things like that doesn't match with the brand that I wanted. I don't have a problem.
I remember you doing that because I asked you. Now, like I said, I know Tina, even though Tina is in New Orleans now. Here, I remember when she moved from Houston. Like, I was so sad. Like, I literally saw her family pack up and they were leaving anyway. So, I remember, and I asked you, I said, why are you doing social media? Like, it perplexed me because I was like, I didn't understand why she was managing other people's social media when she's a designer and she had her own, she was, building her own label. And then she told me a coach had told her to do that. And then I said, but why?
Why you? And it's not that I, sucked at doing social media. I do social media well.
No, you made like top 50 in Houston. I mean, people knew you like as a social media person, but you were doing it for yourself. And so I think the coach, I guess, Tina's real good at it, so she could do it for other people. But it perplexed me because I was like, why are you doing this, girl? Like, I don't see.
It has nothing to do with sparkles and sequins at all, man. But the awards I've been one of the top 100 Houston social media influencers for the last 3 years. And it was something that I kind of did just to make money. Yes, it paid bills, but the weird part about that, this is how far off I was. Instead of getting people to pay me for my designs and styling and writing or the things that, fashion writing, things like that, they were paying me to come to their events and spend 4 hours. But when I was spending these 4 hours, I was like, oh, I'm going to just cost you $20. Well, if you're suggesting that I go into this field, instead of guinea pigging with me, because the money that I spent with particular coaches, like several of the coaches, there was only one coach that really helped me get off my ass. And like she pointed out all the things. She was so far in my stuff, and I was like, I need this.
Was it Women's CEO Project?
Girl, yes.
Yes, that's the coach that saved me. That was in my celebration. Okay, good. So we could talk about this coach because we both had good experiences. Okay, so Chrissy Jackson of Women's CEO Project saved both of us. Okay, keep going. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay.
Oh, I love her. She really sat me down one day and was like, why are you doing all this stuff? She was like, she was like, pick one thing that you really want to do. What makes you, get up in the morning and be out? I'm like, I'm a fashion designer. I want to sew and style and pull clothes. Like, I want to be draped in clothes and sequins all day. She was like, well, girl, why you going to all these free events? Why are you going to all this stuff that doesn't have anything to do with your and anything to do with not bringing you in? And you're spending money. You're spending money paying someone who's guinea pigging on you, so to speak. Like, it was just a lot of stuff that she pointed out for me. She's helped me a lot, and I really had to niche down, and I'm still niching down, and I still learn new stuff. But just having a coach that's like, hey, look, I like fashion. I don't know nothing, that much about it, but I know that the direction you're going is the wrong. If you want to be the next Saks, then we need to have you in these areas. We need to have you doing these things. And paying for the wrong coaches, I love them, and I still talk to a lot of my coaches today. We cool as friends, but they just wasn't the coach for me. Like, hanging out was fun, and there's a difference between being someone's friend and then someone's coach. They gave me
oh my God, Tina, you are like giving. I mean, our discussion is going to take off. There's so many different directives. Like the friend and the coach. We're going to talk about that, but it's something I want to mention before we talk about that. Where you said that they had you doing all these other things to make money, I want people to get something very clear. When you were starting out and you were like me, who were forced into entrepreneurship and you didn't really have a plan and it just kind of happened, there are times you're going to have to take outside types of contract work. Like for me, I taught ESL in the public school system, so it was easy for me to transition and teach ESL to corporate employees. And so I can contract out with companies. I could go do that a few hours a week and make money, and it'll pay bills. That way I'm not stressing myself out like, oh, my God, I got to get some money in right now with my business. It gives me time to really work on creating consistency within my business and not desperation with my business.
Right.
So, yeah, there are times where you will have to do things outside of what it is you do. But during those times, you don't put that outside work connected to the brand you are building. Like a lot of people did not even know that to this day, for 5 years, I have been teaching ESL to corporate employees. And I'm like, that money pays my bills, and I'm able to really enjoy when I have a good month with my business. And I'm not like, ooh, now I got to pay all these bills. Like, my bills are already taken care of. And so I don't put my ESL work associated to my business work that people know me online for. So I wanted to make that clear. Like, not everyone can instantly get a wave of customers or clients and instantly make money to pay their bills off of their business. For me, I had to keep outside work a couple of hours a week to make sure I still had some money coming in while I was doing stuff building Women Are Game Changers. And now I'm transitioning to something else. That means I'm now going to transition to a new business, which is going to have a new clientele. So it's not instant like, oh, raining money. You know, so that's why I still keep my ESL clients, because they still bring me, you know, substantial amount of money in that case. But I just wanted to point that out, Tina, because some people are probably like, well, I have skills and it helps me make money. Yes, do that. If you know you need to make money, do it, but don't attach it to the business you're building unless it actually makes sense. So with Tina, she was doing social media, but she was a designer. So people were associating that with Jaded Kisses Designs. And so it was muddling her brand. And instead of doing it to the side quietly, which the coach probably should have suggested, to do it quietly or get on a totally different platform and build that up as a separate entity so no one puts those two together, that would have made more sense. But because people knew Tina as a designer, and then all of a sudden she's now helping you with social media, it's like, what is she doing? What is she doing? You know, it confuses people. And sometimes
people were confused for years. Honestly, they were confused for years. They never knew what I did, because sometimes I would be posting, and it's not that sometimes I still do social media if the money's right. But like saying, like, I had a whole other company and spending money on trying to build this other company that I'm learning my way through. Like, I had clients, but what didn't happen was there was no influx of clients. And even when I started doing social media, like, I was like, hey, I'll do your social media for $40 a month. That's nothing. People still tried to haggle me, and I'm like, why am I in this direction scraping for $40? And then I'm at events that are 4, 8, 12 hours long, helping them, live tweeting, doing all this stuff. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it, and I learned a lot, but that was taken away from time that I could have been sewing, that I could have been meeting with other designers and saying, hey, I'm doing a unique collection just for your boutique. That's totally different money. And it took me like a year to even clear that out. Like, now people know what I do after someone, kind of wrestled me to the ground, as she likes to say.
But see, that's what people don't get. Not every business is going to get an influx of clients or customers when they start. And I love, I have friends who are business coaches. But the thing is, the friends that I have who are business coaches will give you the truth. And that's what this podcast is all about, giving you the truth. They will tell you, your idea is probably not going to be a hit right away. Or you may need to tweak this. Like, they'll let you know, like, you're not about to be able to swim in money starting off right now, okay? And a lot of people I know, they go to these business coaches and they spend this money, because I have been there, and they get all these ideas and, oh, yeah, if you do this and you price it here, so many people are going to take advantage of it, and you do everything they said, you do the marketing, you hire someone to create the graphics, you're buying ads on social media, like, you're doing all this stuff, and it's like trickle. Not a whole lot of people are purchasing what it is you're buying. And so you spent all this time, all this money, all this effort into something that did not bring you any money. And then when you really think about it, was it related to the vision you have for your business? And it always goes back to, what is the vision for your business? Because if the coach you hire does not get it, don't work with them. You may not be able to work with them at that time. If the coach you hired is giving you suggestions after you've explained your vision and you understand what you want your vision to look like, because that's another key factor. You have to understand what you want it to look like. After you understand what you want it to look like and you explain it to your coach, and they're still giving you suggestions and taking you off course, and you know it's taking you off course, that's not the coach for you. Another thing you need to remember is, what are you struggling with in your business? Hire for that coach. So find a coach who's specific to that area. So for me, sales was an issue, because I'm like, one thing I could do, boom, money coming in, no problem. I do something else this coach says to do, and I'm like, cricket, nothing is happening. So for me, I went out and I looked for a sales coach. Because when I talk to other coaches and I would explain all the things I've done, like one coach in particular, she was like, your problem is not marketing. Because I thought it was marketing. I thought people weren't getting it. She was like, that's not your problem. Your problem is sales. You have to create a sales funnel. She was like, that's not what I do. So then I had to go and find a sales coach. So I learned I don't have a problem with strategy. Well, I don't anymore thanks to Women CEO Project. I don't have a problem with marketing. I've never had a problem with marketing, according to several coaches I spoke to. My problem was sales. I didn't have a sales funnel, and that was the type of coach I needed to find. So it goes back to if you approach a coach and they can't tell you the coach you need and risk losing you as a potential client just because they want your money, that coach is not for you. A good coach is going to tell you, I'm not the coach for you. This is the type of coach you need. That's who you want to keep in your corner, because even if you never become a client of theirs, you can always refer people for their specific needs to that particular coach. But you never want a coach to just take your money because, oh, I can figure it out. No. I have been a guinea pig with too many coaches. No more figuring it out on me. Like, I need you to know.
I find it all. And
like, I seriously need you to know what you're doing.
A good coach, even if they can help you, like you said, that's beautiful that they will even be honest enough to say, hey, baby, this is what you need. That's not what I do. Because, first of all, most people in business are for your money, not even saying that they're greedy or anything or bad against them, but they're in to make money. So if they can make money off of you, then they will, period. It takes a good person. And in business, it's a very thin line between good people and then greedy people. Because, like I said, I had another coach who thought I should I should get one of those janitorial services. I'm like, what I look like with a mom? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with cleaning, but this has nothing. Another coach putting me in another, if you do a franchise, it's only going to be this much. But that's still money that I'm paying.
Franchises cost money. Like, did this coach not understand you would have had to invest in some serious capital if you were to get a franchise of a cleaning company, or even if you started your own, you still got to buy the cleaning supplies and tools, supply, everything. Cost money.
It was still like, if I could get some of this money back, if I could get some of the money back that I spent for bad advice, then I wouldn't, at those times, money was still short because I was like, okay, well, I have 2 or 3 design clients here, they're paying, but I'm glad that they're paying. Okay, cool. Now I need this amount of money until I figured out how much I wanted to make, what I actually wanted to do. Once I sat down, I was like, look, this is too much. Too many people are giving you bad advice, and you're paying for bad advice. You could have got this on TV. You could have, did the real estate thing that everyone sees and did that. At least they give you the marketing plan and everything else. But spending money for someone who's not really helping you, 1, it shows a sign of character for them. 2, it shows you that you have no idea. And when I was starting out in business, all I knew was I could sew and I could design. Okay, and I could style. But as far as like how to market my business, what did I need to do? Like the business aspect, I was clueless. So everybody that said, hey, I can help you, I pretty much was just reaching out like, hey, help me. Look, school didn't teach me this. And a lot of stuff that for business, when you're going to like as a creative, most people they have to either learn to be creative or, they actually are. But being a creative person, most times you don't know the business side. And then there are a lot of people that are just looking to get the quick buck.
And they don't know the creative side to really help you understand how to take that creative side and turn that into a business. Yeah.
And they'll just have you.
I hope people get what you're saying. Like creatives, they have a different way of thinking. Business coaches, because they're more analytical and logical, they have a different way of thinking. And if you can't merge those two, it's hard for that creative person to build a sustainable business if that coach is not able to relay the information in a way that's going to help that creative really create a business that they can operate and they can manage,
And time is our most valuable asset. You don't get that back. You can get a receipt and refund from most everything in life, but time you don't get back. I don't get back the time that I missed away from my family. I don't get back, the moments that I missed with my daughters and they're playing, their business or their little recitals and little lemonade stands and things like that. Like me as a mompreneur, that's important to me to be in my children's lives and to know that I wasted my time. And to know that people that said that they were there for me, for my business, and wanted to see me grow, really took advantage of me. Like, it is what it is. I didn't know. That was an area that I was very ignorant in as far as finding a specific coach. Because I thought, hey, you're a coach, your business is doing well. But then I started seeing behind the scenes, like, hey, you catching the bus like I was catching the bus.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let's take a sip first, and then we'll get to that right after we take a sip, because that that needs a whole discussion by itself. So let's take a quick sip. Listen, rate, share the truth. If you like this podcast, subscribe on my blog, VernettaRFrini.com. And I do offer truth power sessions to help you find and face a business obstacle. Okay, so let's go back to the coaches who are struggling like we are. And I don't want people to think like, oh, this coach is lying or whatever the case may be. No, because we all start off at the same place, the first step, okay? And this coach may be brilliant at what they do, but they haven't had enough momentum to actually have that influx of cash flow to sustain what they're doing. Okay, so I want you to get that. Not every coach is lying, and not every coach is hiding something. Now, I had a coach. I had no idea the coach actually started the business, because I'm not trying to give gender for this coach, like a month before I started mine. And I didn't know that I thought this coach was going to eventually transition and leave the 9 to 5. I didn't know this coach was very, very happy on the 9 to 5, but was trying to coach me on how to do certain things for my business. Like one of the suggestions was I should turn all of my YouTube videos into audios and sell the whole packet for $9.99. And I said, so why am I selling this for $10 when the information alone can reap them hundreds of dollars in revenue, like immediately once they put it into action? Oh, you want to make sure as many people can get it. And I said, well, you obviously didn't hear me, because I'm not for everyone. Like, I'm not a Walmart. I'm not Dollar Tree. Like, everybody can't afford me. And everybody is not supposed to be able to afford me. There's a certain type of woman I work with, and that's the certain type of woman who invests with me. And those women did, no problem. They never complained about my price. And so that's when I learned that, every coach is not giving good advice. But then come to find out, that coach was making 6 figures on the 9 to 5. So this coach was not worried about money. And so it kind of frustrated me in a sense, because I'm like, you're not understanding my struggle, because you don't have a money issue with clients, because you don't really have to worry about money issue with clients, because you still have that steady stream of 9 to 5 income coming in. So when Tina mentioned that sometimes the coach is on the bus with you, I had the opposite. The coach that really irks me the most had a very good paying 9 to 5 job, but really had no idea what it was like to look at your bank account and you are going up to the bank and you are literally putting coins in so you have an equal $1 in your bank account. Okay? My sister laughed so hard. She said, did you go in the bank? I was like, no, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I'm here. I'm like, but that's real. That's true.
Yeah, because my sister was like, did you go in the bank? And I was like, No, I was so embarrassed that I went through the drive-through, and then they called me and they were like, "Ma'am, if you have coins, you have to let us know in advance." But I was like,
I've had days where it would be like, I took off overdraft or whatever because I was like, I ain't got time for these $35 fees. Bump that. So she was like, I needed to put in 65 cents or something. But the girl, she sent me a message, which, like, I'm like, when she leaves, I'm going to be real mad because she takes real good care of me at the bank. But she was like, oh, I put all kinds of coins in there. Most times the same girl's there. She knows what's up. She was just like, okay, I'll do it for you. I'm like, I'm trying to work on this business, girl, trying to get it together.
Right? I'm like, people have, like, that's something that can happen if you listen to a coach and you invest and do all this stuff, even though you have this gut feeling that says, this doesn't feel right, but you do it anyway because this is what your coach told you to do, and you pay this coach.
Use the coach,
yeah, she's supposed to know what he or she is doing.
If you're charging me, that means you know more than me, but sometimes that's not the case.
Yeah, but I hope I'm not the only one. Okay, I hope Tina and I are not the only ones who have gone to the bank and put in coins so that we could get to a certain amount so our accounts weren't closed. Like, like I'm sitting there looking through my card, looking through everywhere trying to find coins to put in the bank so my checking account was not closed. But, yeah, so that has happened to me. But let's go to, because we haven't really touched on what you said about coaches who are riding the bus. Now, what if this coach is amazing? What if you, as a listener, know this coach and they are good at what they do? I mean, like, what they give you is awesome, and you're killing it. You're making money. You're doing everything right. But this coach is riding the bus, or they're struggling financially. Do you take that into account? Well, maybe I shouldn't hire this coach once you find out maybe their personal life is not what you thought it should be. I personally don't think that way. If you're good at what you do, I'm going to pay you for it. If you have the results, I'm going to pay you for it. What happens in your personal life is usually the cause of a whole lot of other things that led to that circumstance. So I'm not going to judge someone because for those who listen, I shared that, I'm going to share my homeless story this season, but I'm good at what I do. I just had a lot of bad coaches, and listening to them took me off track, and it eventually led to me losing my home. So for Tina, what do you think? Because you brought it up. What do you think about coaches who, are riding the bus?
See, my thing is this. Success leaves clues. Now, how can you coach me on how to even get to a 5-figure contract or proposal if you haven't quite gotten there? Or
okay.
some people ride the bus because they like to ride the bus. Okay, cool. But if you can't get your money together enough for you, how are you going to help me get to stuff that I want? Because the stuff that I want is top-notch, top-shelf stuff. It's not, $12 here, $12 there. Yes, that counts, but the stuff that I want, the time that it takes for me to do a bridal dress, it could be a week or longer just to do the beading. So if I'm doing you a custom gown and I'm trying to hustle on the side some stuff that don't really matter for $20, it's not going to match up, and some things in my household are going to be missing.
Yeah.
See,
okay, I see your point there. I see your point there about coaches who are giving advice and they haven't actually been through, the title. They haven't played the game. They haven't been to that level. So how can someone say, I'm going to teach you how to get paid to speak, but they haven't done it themselves? Like, oh, my God, I had a coach, totally try to embarrass me in front of a group of people because I had mentioned I was paying someone else as a speaking coach. And the coach was like, well, why didn't you pay me? And I said, well, this person gets paid to speak. Do you? And so, I mean, you know me, and you knew it was going to come out. But I'm like, I'm like, that person gets paid to do that, so I'm going to pay them to teach me how to do that. You don't get paid to do that. Everywhere I've seen you speak, it's for free. Why am I paying you the $3,000 I pay that person? No, I'm not that stupid, you know. By that time, I was a little brighter.
Now, I didn't hire you because I don't see a trail of success behind you that points to you can actually do this for me. Because speaking for free, and anybody can speak for free. You can just go outside and start speaking. But to have people leave reviews and say, hey, this person really helped me, that's the big difference. And I'll throw my dollar at that hat any day.
And my thing is, like, I know what I'm good at helping other people do. And I know what I'm not good at, and I know where my skill set is. And if it's something you approach me and I'm like, I know 3 other people, let me give you their contact information, I'm going to do that. Like, I had this person I met I got this award last year for helping the startup community in Houston. And so at the event, I met a few people. We stayed in touch. This guy, he messaged me on Facebook like, I have this person and she wants to start a business and I referred her to you. And I said, well, thank you, but that's not what I do. I don't help people start a business because that's not my expertise. So I, did an initial call with this lady to find out exactly what she needed help with. And then she was like, she needed help with, getting her DBA and some other type of licenses. I say, I know the perfect person for you. I referred her to a friend of mine who, that is what she does in her business, is help you with the licensing part of your business and all that stuff because she's an attorney. So I was able to refer, but I knew my limit. I was not going to take this woman's money just because I could Google, because I have a PhD at Google University. Like, I was not about to take this woman's money to say, give me a second and go on Google and figure it out. No.
It's a waste of
what I'm good at is listening to you talk about your business and then say, here are the missing holes. This is why it's not all connecting. This is why pieces are missing. Like, I give you the truth. Like, you could have the greatest idea, but if you have gaps, and I learned that from teaching, I'm able to close those gaps with my students. So that is what I'm really good at doing when I'm working with women one-on-one. But I was like, I don't help people start up. Like, even though I've done my own paperwork for LLC and all this other stuff, that was me. And it took some time. But I'm not about to do that for somebody else.
I don't want to do this. Like, all of my stuff, my friend was an accountant, and she helped me. Like, she did all the paperwork and just like, here you go. But me trying to figure out my domain name and how I'm going to do this is like, look, if someone can help take some of that off my plate, because when I went through it the first time, I was confused, frustrated. It didn't help. It wasted my time. And I didn't, not knowing that area made it that much harder when I could have just called someone, if I had known, called someone that was specializing in that area and had them do it for me. That takes a lot of pressure and stuff off your plate, because that's not what a girl does.
A coach is supposed to be someone who helps you move further in your business, and not someone who, when you wake up and you realize they just knocked me 20 steps back, and now I have to catch up, clean up what they did, find someone else to help me get out of the mess that they got me in. A coach is supposed to help you. Think like, I love basketball. Love it. I'm a Mavericks fan. Like, go Mavs, Mavs Nation. Think about basketball. You always can tell which teams are well coached, right? They rarely need the coach to stand up and cuss them out during the game. You see the teams that are not well coached. The coaches looking like they're about to have a heart attack on the bench. They keep walking and pacing. Those are the bad coaches. Yeah, those are the bad coaches. Those are the coaches you don't want to hire for your business. You want to hire someone who, at practice, they have trained you so well when it's time for game day, i.e. your launch or your new product coming out, your new service, whatever you're doing. they can sit back and look, and you don't even have to call them in a panic. Like, you have been trained so well by that coach in that area they coached you in that you were able to do it almost seamlessly. I'm not going to say flawlessly, because nothing is perfect, but you were able to do it seamlessly where you're not panicking. You know exactly what to do in case this obstacle comes up, in case that obstacle comes up. That is what a good coach does. They make you feel at ease on the court. They make you feel at ease in your business, like, I got this. A bad coach is going to make you feel like, I need to call my girl because I'm stressing out. Like, no. Like, if Tina and I, and we've done this, we've called each other and we're like, girl, business is, if you have a phone call like that from a friend of yours, ask who their coach is. And if and not so much to be nosy, but to see if that person is really helping your friend. You know, that to me, that's the best way I can explain it, because I'm a basketball fan. But if you have a coach and they did their job, you walking out like, I got this. All I need you to do is sit on the bench and watch me. Watch me. If you had a bad coach, you keep looking to the side. Like, I need you to tell me what to do next, what to do next, what to do next. No. In the game of basketball, you don't have time to keep looking over at the bench. By that time, somebody done stole the ball and scored. So the same as in business. You don't have time to keep looking back to your coach, because by that time, a competitor could have popped right up and they had a better coach, and now they have pushed you to the side.
And it happens.
It happens all the time. So we are getting towards the end. Tina, do you have anything up before I start wrapping up our episode today?
A couple takeaways is do your research.
Wait till we get to the takeaway part, because I know you have some good ones. So I'm going to give a quote, and then we'll get to our final toast. Okay, so here's a quote, everyone, I want you to get. Everyone you invest in should be able to answer your questions about how they can help you in business truthfully and without hesitation. If someone hesitates on how they can help you, that's not the coach for you, because the coach should know what game plan they have been able to successfully do in the past. Triangle. Think of Phil Jackson and the triangle. It worked in Chicago and it worked in L.A. Now, it didn't work in New York. Okay? We see that. We see that. But it did work for two other teams, and they got championships. So your coach should be able to, without hesitation, answer your questions about how they can help you. So let's get to our final toast. Okay, so my takeaway that I want everyone to get is that your coach should have trained you so well that when you step out on the court, you step out into your business, you feel no reservations whatsoever. Like, you got this. They have equipped you with the best training, i.e. strategy, and skills, which are all the tools to make that strategy happen, and you're able to go out there and kill it. And all they can do is sit back and watch with a smile like, yeah, she did that. So that's my takeaway. Your coach should equip you with the right strategy and tools to make that strategy come alive. That's my final toast. What's yours, Tina?
My final toast is success leaves clues. When you're looking for a coach to help you, one is, doing your research, but when you're looking for a coach, your coach should be successful in the area that they're helping you in. If it feels suspect or looks suspect, it probably is. So definitely look for testimonials, research, get to know them, get to know people who they've helped. Do your due diligence.
Yes, please do your due diligence. I did not, because I did not know what that means. Tina gave you exactly what that means. Testimonials, do your research, find those success clues. Well, this has been a toast to truth with Vernetta Arfreni. That's me chatting it up with my friend Tina about coaches with no successful track record yet and the consequences we've encountered.